I took a very short train journey to Kingston-upon-Thames to embark on the Thames Down Link. This is a 25k hiking trail running from Kingston to the North Downs Way. I'll be hiking it with a few detours and then while camping at the end in my Durston X-Dome. Right here in Kingston-upon-Thames sits the Coronation Stone, a block of grey sandstone said to be where 7 Saxon kings of England were crowned over 1,000 years ago. But it now proudly sits outside the council house, a reminder that this quiet riverside town was once at the very heart of English royalty. Reading the sign also dispelled a local myth that I've heard multiple times, that Kingston was so named because it contains the King's Stone. In fact, Kingston is an old Saxon word which means royal farm. Well, good morning. It's an absolutely beautiful bluebird day. Fantastic day for this route. There might be a little bit of rain later, we'll have to see. When I get to near the end, I'm going to be camping and I'm in the Durston X-Dome. My biggest question I've got at the moment is why my pack is so heavy. You know, I've got very light shelter and yet somehow I've got 18 kilograms of kit and I really don't understand what all that weight is. I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm taking. And then there's these other guys that seem to go out with tiny little packs and like 8 kilograms base weight. I've got so much more kit than that. Anyway, we've got about 20k left to do for the day until we find our spot to camp, which looks like on satellite is going to be a really chilled out, peaceful woodland camp, but we'll have to see. This hike has been very built up so far, actually more built up than I expected it to be. You know, I expected a few K out of Kingston to be quite built up, but it's been considerably more built up. There's been a few nature reserves. For some reason they're all called local nature reserves. I don't know why. I mean, everything's local when you're there, isn't it? I mean, it's not like they can up and move it, but they're all called local wildlife reserves, and they're pleasant places to walk through, but still quite a lot of traffic noise. So it is definitely a very built up hike. I imagine that will change when we pass under the M25. Got about 10k, so I've got 16k left to go, so 10 miles left to go. 10k done, sorry, to mix the metrics. So I thought I'd stop and have a quick sandwich. Mostly feeling all right, actually. I mean, 10k walk, it's not a lot, but 18 kilogram pack, it adds quite a bit. But I can definitely feel a problem in my glute that is coming. I'll tell you more about my hiking experience later on, possibly when I get to camp tonight, so I'll explain why I've cut this particular route short. I was going to hike from my home in Surrey Hills, which would have had about 6k on. The official route starts at Kingston. I'm doing the official route. I did do a few little side quests, go look at the Coronation Stone, which you saw earlier, but mostly I'm sticking to the route. I found it very difficult to get an official accurate GPX file for this route, so I knew where I was going. The GPX file I got was very inaccurate and would have lines going across buildings and stuff. So I'll push out my actual GPX that I've used, and I'll link that in the description. Anyway, time for a quick sandwich. We're 11k in, and that is the first sign for the Thames Down Link that I've actually seen for this entire time. The rest of the time, quite a lot of it was following the London Loop, which is I think it's a 260 kilometre loop that circumnavigates London. It doesn't sound that great. I don't think it's really going to be a lot of fun to do that one when you could be out in the countryside. But a lot of this route followed that, and then we broke off and we went through a few connected up nature reserves, and now it looks like we're on the route proper, so that's great. So let's keep going, bang out some miles. What a lovely little spot. I pulled up and had a relax for, I don't know, 5-6 minutes. Beautiful sunshine. So we've come off the main route because we're going to go and try and find the remains of an old Roman villa in Ashton Common. So apparently this was cleared out many years ago, and there's some photos of it which look, you know, it looks like brickwork in the ground from thousands of years ago. However, apparently it's now rather overgrown. Now that information is a couple of years old, so I don't know what it will look like now, or even if we'll be able to find it. Well, slight anticlimax. Apparently it has been buried. So it was excavated in the early 2000s and then buried again, and now you can't see it, it's just a patch of ground. There you go, you can take a look. Mum, really sad. Wonder what happened. The hell's that? The hell's that for? Random. Come on, up you come. Can't wait around all day. What sort of lifestyle do you need to live? It requires 4 rubbish bins. I don't mean like one for general rubbish, one for paper and cardboard, one for glass, one for food. I mean 4 rubbish bins. Almost. I mean, the gates are open, but gated little community. Very nice. I'm sure they cost a few pennies. Tell you what, it's bloody hilly. I've been going uphill for, I think, 2 hours now, consistently, without stopping. It's fine. It's not like mountain style hill where you're going up a really, really steep incline. It is just very persistently linear leg burner. What a lovely bit of woodland that is. Very pleasant. I guess that's all beach. Unfortunately it's right next to some houses, so it's definitely not wild campable. And I imagine in a couple of hours full of kids. I don't know if this is going to come out on the microphone, but we are approaching the M25, London's orbital motorway. I say in inverted commas because quite often it's a pay and display car park because the traffic on it is so absurd. But it sounds quite fluid. But let's go and have a look. Another one of these things. They've got to be for something. I think it maybe is to get on and off a horse. Maybe someone will know in the comments, but it looks like maybe something you could use for that. But I'm not a horseman, so I don't really know. So just on the topic of my body, actually, it's fine. So I've done, I think, 25k now, and my glute feels fine, my hamstring feels fine. It's a bit like I get with running sometimes. You start off and something hurts and then it kind of settles in. The only problem I've got at the moment is just my feet are sore, because they've done, quite a lot of miles now, traipsing along, and that's obviously something you get used to. So that is a really good sign. If I can figure out some ways of getting some weight out of this pack, and some weight out of this belly, then it might be viable that I can start to think about doing some longer distance multi-day hikes again. So this wild camping spot is courtesy of Ben from Ben's Hikes and Camps. I'll link him in the description below, and he gave me the 3 words of a location that he used when he did this hike. It's not entirely level, but it's wild camping. It is what it is. I will have a scout around for a bit, but right now I'm just gonna have a little rest, lie my legs down, rest my feet for a little bit, contemplate the hip flask whiskey that I've got and I've so far not touched. I could easily have made it to the train station tonight. I mean, it's like 3 o'clock, and got the train back home. But where would the fun in that be? I'd just be back home. Whereas now I get to camp out in a beautiful bit of woodland, and I'll be up early before any of the dog walkers appear, and I'll be off out. But for now, just gonna have a little rest. The moment I went quiet, little creatures started to make a noise. It's crazy how much you miss when you're hiking or canoeing. And as soon as you're quiet, the animals start to appear and they come to you. Well, that was lucky. It has literally just started raining. It may have just stopped, but my stuff got a little bit of drizzle on it. But here we are. We're in, and the tent is up. Beautiful sunset happening behind me. Fortunately, I'm hidden away in the forest, so I can't really see it. But it's very, very pretty. Glad I popped out to have a look. Right, I'm gonna make a little cup of tea. It's pretty cold out. I didn't really think it was going to be cold because it hasn't been cold yet. But so my top tip is I always fill the water up into the cup, so I know the exact amount that I need, so I'm not wasting gas. Pour that into there, and now I know I've got the right amount. Especially on these trips where you're water limited, I can't get in the environment that I'm in right next. I can hear the M25, I can hear trains going past. There's people, there's farms. It just doesn't work. So I can't take water off the landscape. It's not like I'm in Canada. Way to pass the time whilst the water's boiling. I woke up in the middle of the night for whiskey last night, and I added it to my morning list. Nice little hip flask. table would be super useful, but I've been trying to cut down on the weight, even though I've ended up with like nearly 20 kilos of stuff. I may as well have just slung a child on and carried the child. There we go. Right, time for dinner. For dinner we have chilli with couscous. Now these are dehydrated meals. I'm going to mix these two in together and then rehydrate them in one go. And I have in here a pouch to put them in. So what I need to do is boil up some water, carefully open these packets, combine them, and then heat them up. So the chilli, this is food that I cooked at home for one of my Canada trips, and I brought it all back. So this is meat. And meat will do about a month when it's been dehydrated at ambient kind of air temperature. If I freeze this, it basically lasts indefinitely. So this did kind of 2 weeks in my Canada trip in the bare barrel, being carried around, bashed about through portages, and then didn't get eaten. And now it's come back with me to the UK and gone straight back into my freezer, and it's been out on a couple of trips and not been eaten. So this is going to get eaten tonight. I actually have another one which I may have for breakfast tomorrow, depending on how hungry I am. But first thing we need to do is get some water boiling. For anyone who's never dehydrated food before, a few people have said to me, do a video on it, show us how to do it, and I am tempted. So if you've never done it, please do let me know, because it doesn't require very expensive equipment to do it. And it opens up a world of making your own camping meals. It's really good. I'd say this is nearly done and still piping hot. You do, when you're rehydrating, you do have to work it a little bit. Move it around. See how it feels. Get all the stuff out the corners. Making sure it's all working its way through. So let me tell you a bit about my hiking experience. I've done quite a bit of day hiking. I've done an awful lot of day hiking, and in fact my parents would drag me day hiking when I was a little boy, and my wife and I have done the same thing for our kids. But I haven't done a lot of multi-day hikes. So last year in 2023 I decided to do South Downs Way. At the time I was very fit, so this is 2 years ago. Basically it was 2 years ago in November. At the time I was very fit. We're talking kind of 3-hour marathon fit, and I was doing an awful lot of running miles, 100k weeks, 120k weeks, and I thought, well, how hard can a bit of walking be? So I decided to do the South Downs Way over 4 days. It's 100 miles, 4 days, 25 miles a day. What could go wrong? And it turned out that it's an awful lot harder than you would think. First of all, I picked a stupid time of year. It's when I could do it, and I went in November. There's about 7.5, 8 hours of daylight, and that means you cannot stop. You can't sit by a pond and have a relax or a ponder or a think. You have to be walking all of the time in order to try and make your distance, because when the sun goes down at like 5 o'clock or even earlier than that, and it doesn't come up until late, that's your only, you have to stop at that point. So that really screwed me up. And then also I found I hadn't got the muscles in the right places or the strength in the right places to be able to do it. I definitely couldn't run a marathon a day for 4 days in a row. I wasn't that level of fitness.
but I could have run a half marathon a day for, you know, almost permanently. So I was very fit at the time, but the fitness was not the problem. The problem was the muscles, the strength, the getting your body used to the sort of rhythm and movements that you need. So I failed, and I got up to 80 miles, and I needed one more day to finish it, but I was wrecked. But kind of my lower half of my body was utterly destroyed. Glutes, calves, hamstrings, everything. I mean, I was in so much pain and consuming so many ibuprofen. Whenever I was doing any walking, it was just impossible, and it took me quite a while to recover from it. Now I reckon my food is ready, so I'm going to get this all mixed in together and get some of that eaten. So in here I've got my couscous, and I'm going to tip this couscous into the chili like this, but I'm not going to put it all in. I'm going to reserve a little bit because couscous is boring and not very tasty, and I definitely put too much in. Oh man, so simple and so good. And by eating directly out the vacuum sealed bags, there's no rubbish, no washing up, just this.
Did you see that as being the beginning of a different kind of paradigm? I think once we built that for translation.
Right, it's getting pretty late now, so I'm off to bed, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning. Very, very peaceful night. Tiny little bit of rain, but that was it. But time to get up and complete this walk. I have heard one group of people walk past, but I don't think I was spotted. One job I have to do this morning is run the YouTube comment picker. So a couple of videos ago I did my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, where I'm giving away 3 months of YouTube premium. It's too late to enter now, so I've got a YouTube comment picker. I'll overlay it on the screen, and I'm about to run it and congratulations to Found Ponds. You have won 3 months of YouTube Premium subscription. Boo-hoo. It's been really, really pleasant. Very little wind in the night. 1 or 2 little minor showers that just added to the ambiance. Very quiet. No deer barking. Didn't hear a single deer or little critter. No trace has been left, apart from the dry patch. Time to get going for the day. We've got another couple of K of walking. My aim is to try and get the 10:30 train from Box Hill and West Humble, and that will mark the end of the trail. What a great fun one this has been. The weather looks fantastic, so let's get ourselves out from under this cover and see what we've got for the rest of the day. Bluebird skies again. Absolutely amazing. This path was actually busier in the morning than I expected. Quite a few people. Morning. Dog walkers, cyclists, etc. But it was perfectly good. What a spot. I'll definitely be back here again. Amazing. Fair bit of camera and map bungling has occurred, and now I've got basically 15 minutes to do the last kilometre, which is doable, but then I've got to get to the station, sort out some sort of ticket, and if I miss this train I'm sitting on the platform for an hour, and an hour feels like quite a long time when you got a wife and kids at home. Well, I mean, the kids are going to be in bed by the time I get back, that is for sure. They're both teenagers, but the wife won't be. So we need to haul ass. Morning. That's the end of the Thames Down Link. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, Matt out.